Welcome everybody to Attempts at Governance. This is episode 284, and I'm speaking to you from Bubble Studios in Argentina. This is where the Sub0 event is going to be happening starting tomorrow, and this space is so cool. This is going to be a totally unforgettable event. And remember, if you're not able to make it to Sub0 down here in Argentina, the whole thing is going to be streamed live. Just go to sub0.gg to catch all the action there. We're going to have everything on stage if you want to listen to it in English or Spanish, whatever floats your boat. And we're also going to be showing off the space throughout the stream as well. It's going to be so cool. So I'm so excited about that. Let's get started with the state of the Treasury, which actually is going to be for 2 weeks this week, because last week the dashboard wasn't quite loading after the migration there. But we're looking pretty good in the last 2 weeks. Oh, wait, I have to also say, State of the Treasury is a bit strange because Treasury was also affected by that bug from the migration where issuance was cut by 60% or whatever. So we lost out on a bunch of income to the Treasury during that brief period. I know that that bug was fixed and staking rewards are back to normal and Treasury income is back to normal, if I understand correctly. Remains to be seen, however, how those missed rewards are going to be compensated, if at all, in the future. So we'll stay tuned to hear more about that. You hear anything about that, Florentina? We're still waiting to find out, aren't we?
No, there's not much clarity on that that I know of.
Okay.
I guess it's permissionless if anyone wants to propose it on OpenGov or anything like that.
I did see a link floating around by one of the validators who had roughly calculated what missed rewards would be based on an average. Of course, we can't know for sure. We can't simulate for sure what would have been, but we can make an estimated guess. So we'll let you know about that once we know. But yeah, let's check out the state of the Treasury for 2 weeks now. From 2 weeks ago, we are up 70,000 DOT, which is worth $210,000 at today's market value. That brings the DOT stack to 25.69 million. We are up 420,000 USDT to 7.15 million and down 600,000 USDC to 3.85 million. That's the state of the Treasury. Just a few refs gone by this week. We have the whitelisted caller to upgrade to the first patch to upgrade Polkadot and Asset Hub to 2.0.1. And then we had the second patch to fix that staking bug, the issuance fix, I mean, and those were both passed extremely rapidly. Otherwise, we just had one failed spend proposal this week on the small tipper track to Angie Web 3, the 140 DOT, for her work at Code in DOT. And Space for Build never made it across the line. 27 million DOT on the nay side there. So we'll have to see if we can hang on to this agent and reward her work somehow. Those are the refs gone by, at least that I saw this week. We now have a special presentation to get to. We have Ilya and also Angie from Polkadot Avatars. This is a project that came out of the gaming bounty, which is being wound down, but a lot of productivity while it was up and ongoing, actually. We have Ilya who wants to share progress on what he built. Folks, why don't you take it away?
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Jay. Yeah, we are winding down the games bounty, but we've been really busy. Ilya has been heads down doing the Polkadot Avatars project for probably, how long has it been now, Ilya? Probably
7.5 months.
Yeah, 7.5 months. And he every morning we meet and he dials in and gives us an update, and we are just ready to give you an update because the progress has been really exciting. So one of the things, that he has been asking, kind of like the key question, is really kind of like, what if your digital identity could move freely between worlds? And that is just this core question in gaming, because people talk about the idea of gaming and Web3 coming together, and the first thing people think about is player ID and how could this, how could we move about different spaces and maintain our privacy, maintain our personhood, digital personhood. So that's really what he's been focused on. And so anyway, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ilya, to show your work.
Yeah, let's just start the presentation. Let me share my screen, please. Really quick. Let's go.
It started with a simple question. What if your digital identity could move freely between worlds, not locked into a single game, platform, or account? The idea of open, connected worlds where identity truly belongs to the player felt like science fiction. Over time, through experiments, prototypes, and real projects, I kept exploring one vision: a system where avatars could exist across different games and engines as a unified identity. Polkadot was built on that same belief that technology should connect, not divide, that users, builders, and communities can shape the future together with open innovations. That philosophy became a foundation of Polkadot Avatars, a framework designed to make identity interoperable, safe, and universal. Our goal is to enable digital identities that can travel seamlessly across experiences while respecting the rules, standards, and safety of every platform we touch. Polkadot Avatars wasn't born from speculation or hype. It grew from years of independent development. Today, Polkadot Avatars is real. We built a website, a functional web application, modular character system, and full integration into Roblox, our first supported engine, so developers can connect their own worlds to this growing identity layer. We are now in support to UEFN, Unreal Engine, Unity, and our own web platform, creating a bridge between traditional and next-generation games. Here is how it works. Players can customize their avatars in our companion web app, using created digital assets from supported ecosystems. Each configuration is stored as a natural data, a simple JSON file describing parts, materials, and animations. When a player joins a supported game, the data rebuilds their avatar natively inside the engine. No blockchain connections, no external transactions or personal data. Everything that happens inside the game remains entirely within the platform's environment, fully sandboxed and compliant with all major policies. User protection stands at the core of everything we build. The system is designed to be child-safe by default. We follow global standards for safety and privacy, and the child protection policies of Roblox, Epic, and Unity. Inside supported games, Polkadot Avatars acts only as a visual framework, a safe extension of each platform's native avatar system. Beyond games, the same infrastructure empowers creators and brands. Through our SDK, IP owners can adapt their characters to become playable across multiple engines, always within approved platform rules and without external dependencies. Polkadot Avatars is transparent, verifiable technology, built to demonstrate that Web3 should really stand for connection, not speculation. And that's what Polkadot Avatars brings to life: a shared identity layer for the open metaverse, powered by technology, guided by community, and protected by design.
Wow, very, very cool. Okay, so
Thank you so much.
good job. That's so neat. Angie, I have to know, what's the potential you see with a product like this? Where does it go from here? And especially, how does it work for the Polkadot DAO, and how does it work for Polkadot holders? What's the idea here?
So the idea that I think is really exciting is user-generated content is a massive theme in video games. And Roblox is a platform, Epic's UEFN is a platform, there are other platforms out there. And that space that you saw was actually Roblox. So Ilya has figured out a way to integrate. By the way, the first character is the Kusumarian.
Oh, I know, I saw, very cute, yeah.
I think a lot of people have been scratching their heads on why we keep talking about Roblox,
Right.
But it is because it does provide a truly open source framework for independent developers
So,
to be able to create their own content. Way individual that wants to go in and create, wants to go in and play, and it's agnostic to engine. It will be agnostic to platform eventually, but we have Roblox to start. Ilya, go ahead.
Yeah, we're agnostic to chain, to engine, and platform, and games as well. I mean, we have right now currently all that I show you. It's not polished product. It's like a beta, you know. And currently, I showed the Polkadot Hub inside Roblox, where you can travel with your avatars to the third-party games that support like our SDK. So we actually working on the actual metaverse. Like it's kind of open metaverse that exists currently. I mean,
can you just explain also when you open like the wallet connection to Polkadot.js or?
Oh yeah. First of all, you just go to our site and connect the wallet, and this wallet, our application checks, index all digital assets that exist in wallet, and we link it with our 3D asset that game ready, and then we send this IP to the engine and rebuild avatars inside the game. So actually, we can use digital assets outside without violating any rights of the platforms. In this way, we kind of create the entire gamification of the infrastructure. Polkadot, Mythical, Ethereum, anyway, like we can give gaming utility to any community, you know. And we already did it. I mean, this exists right now. It's live. We need to polish it and yeah, ready to go. And this open up so much opportunities. I mean, it's a whole new layer. It's a bridge between the worlds. I mean, yeah, it's insane. And of course, yes. And also we want to become part of the official brand. I mean, official Polkadot brand, because I think Polkadot avatars can't exist without the Polkadot, right? And the Polkadot as well is a great kind of chain for these kind of interactions, because of the tech, you know, is the one is the blockchain that can hold everything that we have created so far.
Yeah, Ilya is a professional artist, video game, designer, 3D modeler, and he's basically voting with his feet. Polkadot is the tech that can actually support this future vision.
Cool. Okay, so where do we go from here? I mean, it's very impressive that it's all up and going. What can we expect at the next update?
Right now, our focus is to polish the first gaming experiences. Then integrate SDK, expand SDK to the next engines, and create opportunity to kind of earn digital assets, customize the character, and grow engagement for the application, for the games, and like create the whole infrastructure. So yeah, we will polish games, we will create new games, we will attract IPs. So the more games we have, the more bigger infrastructure we have, the more cooler IPs we can attract, and the faster we will grow, you know. And then the platform, I mean our own platform, where we can create web-based games as well, and Web3 games as well.
And from a logistics perspective, we'll have to, organize some sort of, developer, gathering, I guess, hackathon.
Yeah, cool. Interesting stuff, guys. Ilya, your commitment to this project and your artistry is really commendable. Amazing stuff. I'm eager to see what we do with this product now that it's been created. but I guess we'll stay tuned for the next update. Yeah, very cool stuff. Oh, the other thing I was thinking, and maybe it's not worth getting into yet, but I was wondering if you've been thinking about the Polkadot people thing, the proof of personhood. You're talking a lot about identification here. Gavin is strictly talking about individuality. So identification within a context, but not one that kind of goes across platforms like you're talking about. Do you see there's any future where you can build kind of temporary aliases within certain contexts, or are you thinking about this at all, or is that just too new of an
I
idea?
think, yeah, I think this is the great. I mean, the stuff that we built right now is a great framework to integrate proof of personhood into it. It kind of can exist together, can coexist right now, because we have built a great feature for the given idea right now, and we can use it right away. That's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to wait. That's the
It's
cool one.
almost like a demonstration or an experimental, space to showcase that.
Cool. Kind stuff.
It's more of like that. We're going toward the same destination, and this is kind of an application that will kind of guide us to that destination.
Cool stuff. Hey, anything else you guys want to say while we have you here?
I was just say one really quick thing. Mythical was nominated by Games.gg for I think 5 categories.
I saw.
So everybody in Polkadot should go vote.
Yes, nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah, Mystical. Great, guys.
Hey, Angie, are you here? Are you in Buenos Aires, or I can't remember?
I'm not.
No, okay.
I wasn't able to make
It's
it.
okay. It's okay.
Unfortunately.
That's okay. Don't worry. We're gonna give
But
you.
I'm gonna be watching.
Oh, we're gonna have lots of action for you. It's gonna be very exciting, guys. Thank you very much for coming on, both of you.
I definitely have some FOMO when I heard you talking about it.
That's good. This is my job. Perfect. Good stuff. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for coming on. Hey, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat today. Nice and lively. Yes, we will have a live stream of Gavin Wood's keynote, and actually, Gavin's going to be making a very special appearance at Sub0 here. You're definitely going to want to tune into that. And directly after his talk, there will also be a secret reveal, but you have to be in person to see that. If you're not in person, make sure you make a connection with somebody who is here so you can ask them exactly what's going on. They want it to be all be very hush hush. And yeah, you'll have to ask people on the ground what's up with that, but that's going to be very exciting. Also want to welcome Haro. We haven't seen you in the chat before, and loving the energy around making Polkadot a lot better. A lot of the ideas you're putting out there, it can be up to you in a permissionless system like this. So if you want to work on any of these ideas you're talking about, you can reach out to me or anybody on the panel, and perhaps we can point you in the right direction. We got Jonas in the house. Jonas, how's it going, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, quite good. Thank you very much.
Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Man, you have been hard
Thanks.
at work pulling together diverse ideas into one beautiful framework you're calling the dynamic allocation pool. This is on the forum. I'm going to pop this in the chat because if you haven't checked this out yet, it's time to take a look. What's the experience been like putting all this together?
Was quite good. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, some new thinking about how we can move forward. But together, I think it makes a lot of sense, and it can actually help us a lot moving forward.
No, it's a fantastic framework. And you know what I think we should do today is I think we should maybe kind of break down the schematic here, just go step by step, and we can let anybody on the panel ask questions as we go. But does that seem suitable to you? Just kind of as an overview. And then if
Sure.
people want to get more, I'm dropping the link right now so people can check it out.
Yeah, I think there's so much content and so many nuances that we can't cover everything here anyway.
No.
So I think just giving a high level idea is maybe the best way to go.
So just to catch people up on the situation right now, today, new DOT is issued, and then the way the parameters are set up, 15% of it flows to Treasury, 85% of it flows to validators and stakers. That's the situation right now. Gavin has been talking about this buffer pool, and that's what you're trying to solve for here. This is the allocation pool. Why don't you take it away, maybe starting from there?
Yeah, so Gavin mentioned this several times, that it would be beneficial to have like some mechanism between the issuance and actually the funding sources, right? To allow like disentangling this security budget from the interest rates for the nominator, and also to be like much more flexible in how the newly minted issuance is being applied.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically where I took up on these ideas, and you know, added a lot more details and my own ideas to it. And this is basically where I arrived.
Hey, are you still there? I think we lost.
I think, is it your connection?
Well, I think it's a little both.
I
But
can hear both of you.
you couldn't or could. Just for everybody at home, if we happen to drop out of the
I could hear both of you.
Okay, if we happen to drop out of the stream, we'll come right back. One of the disadvantages of building a building out of solid concrete is that the Wi-Fi has some trouble going around corners. But sorry, Jonas, why don't you pick it up where you...
I think so.
Sure, go
Like,
ahead.
I don't know what came through or not. So yeah, Gavin was like talking about this buffer issuance, this issuance buffer for some different occasions. And this is where I basically picked up the idea of getting some fund that is in between the issuance and the actual funding sources, and make it much more flexible in how the funds or how the newly minted DOT would actually be used, because right now it's rather static. And yeah, this dynamic allocation pool is what I call it. It's actually capturing this idea entirely.
So into this allocation pool, we have the newly minted DOT, we have core time revenue, and I think you mentioned instead of burning a portion of core time revenue, it's just all going to go in there, and then also all transaction fees. Is that right?
Yes, so I think we would then stop all the burns and basically like redirect the burned tokens to this pool, because the hard cap model is not like basically thinking about the burned tokens. So what would happen is that at some point we theoretically reach this cap and stop minting new tokens, but we would still burn, right? So that is also kind of weird, because then we wouldn't actually converge towards the cap and stop issuing, but we would actually move away from there. And so to address this problem, it makes sense to stop the burn and basically redirect the tokens that would be burned into this dynamic allocation pool, which also makes it possible to at some point, you know, offset like the expenses with the income.
Mm-hmm. So all income going to the allocation pool now. And then what's this algorithm? What's this algorithm box here? What is this all about?
Yeah. So yeah, algorithm is maybe a little bit of a too big word here. It is basically just some mechanism, and however that is being implemented, of automating the outflow based on the like some decision parameters that can be set, right? So you could think about that this algorithm knows, or like actually gets instructions about how to allocate the incoming dots to these different funding sources, right? And since there's like a little bit more like logic involved, because for example, if we say that a certain amount of stablecoin should be issued, then this algorithm would need to understand how to mint stablecoin and, you know, potentially manage the vaults and the liquidation risk and all this stuff. So it becomes a little bit more like an algorithm. But basically it's just like to automate the outflows.
Right. So right now we kind of have this like rudimentary split between treasury and staking rewards or incentives. But now it can be a lot more refined, and we can even keep DOT in the allocation pool for a rainy day.
Yes, exactly. This is also one of the parts that has been captured with this strategic reserve thing, where we can use DOT to save, basically, because we know there will be less issuance in the future, so it might be reasonable to save. Another point is that you know, depending on how the stable coin design eventually looks like, it might be reasonable to have a pool of DOT to actually fund the stability of the coin. and to to give a very strong fundament to it, right?
Okay.
And this is the idea of this strategic pool, yeah.
Okay, so that's a correction for me. DOT doesn't stay in the allocation pool, but extra DOT spills over into the strategic reserve. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just all mental accounts, right? Like it comes into this, whether it's a separate account or not, it doesn't matter so much. But basically, the allocation pool could then just decide to not send it out to any other direction, but actually keep it in this strategic reserve account. And then there could be like, potentially extra proposals how to use these funds, or they could be automated, for example, as like to reduce liquidation risks whenever the stablecoin is under pressure or something like this.
Sweet. Let's stop now because Angie has a question or comment.
I guess you started down this path of answering my question, which was, what will be the mechanism to unlock the quote savings account?
Yeah, so this is, of course, all open to whatever the voters probably want it to be. But I would envision that there is it makes sense to have some automatic way of like supporting the stablecoin whenever it is under pressure or it gets under pressure, because that's a lot of collateral that could be used to basically, stabilize the stablecoin. Or as you imagine this like strategic reserve being filled up over time, like this makes it actually possible to spend the DOT in the future, right? When the issuance goes down, you could draw from the strategic reserve and top up, for example, paying out nominators, paying out validators, or paying out the treasury.
This is something that Florentina and I were speaking about on Monday, because you have it in the cloud here, the organization or whatever that sets the algorithm. You have committee or OpenGov. And then Florentina live, she was like, well, it'd be cool if the committee was kind of like a whitelister, just like the whitelisted caller track. And then basically a few minutes later, I saw you left almost a similar or almost identical comment to my question in the forums there. So this is how you're thinking about it. Everything ultimately gets settled by OpenGov, but you can kind of have this whitelisted track, this expedited suggestion, ref suggestions that come through.
Yeah, I would say that this is one reasonable approach here, because the stakes are quite high. So
no doubt.
I think you don't want to have like a small committee of people deciding on the budget of like the whole Polkadot protocol.
Could go
so
bad.
What would be the better way to do it? Is probably to have some small committee like that can give recommendations or whitelisting or maybe even vetoing proposals. But the origin from the proposal is through OpenGov, and I think that makes the most sense.
Florentina?
Sorry, just credit where it's due. When I was mentioning that on Monday, I was referring to it because when I read Jonas's text on the forum, it made me think of what Gavin mentioned at Web3 Summit about a potential economic fellowship. So it was not my idea, just to make sure.
Yeah, no.
I just connected the two ideas together, but I did not come up with this.
I think it should also be part of the proposal, by the way. I think I'm explicitly saying that it is preferable to use OpenGov as source and then maybe a small committee to whitelist or veto. Whether that is actually needed or not is open for discussion. But I think the main power in that sense should lie with OpenGov.
That's sweet. Okay, one of the outflows from the allocation pool is into the vault. And the vault, this is where we stash collateral for the stablecoin, which is outside, you mentioned, is outside the scope of your proposal here. Whatever that stablecoin mechanism is, we're not talking about that here.
Yes.
But then you also have DOT can flow to Treasury. So that's kind of like what we see today. And then you have DOT flowing to nominators and validators. Did you want to talk about that quickly?
So basically, the idea is to disentangle the rewards for nominators from these of validators, which gives us a little bit more flexibility, right? There will be not like any commission system anymore. So basically, nominators, you can define some budget for nominators, And then the nominator rewards are just being determined as it is now, right? Like you have a staking rate, and then every dot in this staking system actually gets a share of this nominator reward budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the validators on the other side that have a separate budget, and there the rewards are split into two parts: the like dot reward and like some fixed reward in the stablecoin that we will eventually have. And this should actually help validators to do some planning, right? Because they have like real world fiat met obligations. So they would actually get this stablecoin and can liquidate it to pay for their real world stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I think it's quite important to align validators with the network by paying them DOT. And in return, they will stack up self-stake, which actually makes the whole system more secure, or which actually, gives the economic resilience to the network. And I think that is quite important. Gavin had these kind of ideas of eventually moving to a more proof of personhood based system. And this could be reflected, of course, easily in this current model. But so far, I think it's still important to basically align validators with Polkadot by actually exposing them to DOT, right?
One of the surprising things when we were talking about the issuance that you revealed to me, it was public, but is that there is no minimum self-stake right now. There is to participate in certain programs, but validators actually don't have to put up any DOT really to be a validator in the network. Mm-hmm. You're going to raise that minimum to 10,000 DOT. And then I think what you're saying here, which is quite clever, is the more you self-stake, the bigger piece of those DOT rewards validators will get. So this actually incentivizes them to self-stake more and more and more.
Yes. So this is the system that is described also in this document a little bit lower, where there's some reward function where you can basically determine as a validator your weight in how much you get from this total reward pool. And it's not linear, because the problem is like one validator that has like, let's say 100,000 self-stakes.
Yeah.
We don't want them to like soak up all the rewards and everybody else doesn't get anything, right? So also the resilience of the consensus system benefits from a uniform distribution of stake. So the reward function basically favors some uniform distribution, but also it means that validators can acquire more self-stake, actually show their skin in the game, show their commitment to the Polkadot network, and then earn rewards. And in this like example budget that I did, the rewards are quite significant. I think I calibrated it such that if everybody stakes some optimal level of self-stake, which I set at like 30,000 DOT, everybody, like every validator would get like 30% API, which is quite significant. And I mean, I have to say that these numbers can still change and everything, but the idea is that we want validators to show their commitment, but we also need to be realistic and say that we need to compensate for the capital that is locked, right?
Right.
So this is basically the idea, right? We pay them a fixed, you could even say a salary, right, in fiat denominated, that is fixed. And then we also have this kind of incentive game to, put more self-stake on your validator.
Yes, so you have stable coins flowing to validators as well from the vault. This is what Gavin was talking about at the Web3 Summit, a fixed fiat payment, basically, for services rendered by the validators. And you have that here. Gavin was like, he's just musing, right? He's not modeling anything. He's not looking at anything. He was saying like 5,000. You floated 2,000 here. Obviously, this requires a lot more research, and we have to bring the validators in and see actual costs around the world and whatnot. But what are you kind of thinking about costs for validators and rewards? Do you have a number in mind yet, or are we still just too early to really determine what that is?
Yeah, so I think this is basically my musing.
Yeah.
But I think Gavin didn't propose the DOT incentive part of it.
That's right.
And like I think it's quite important to still have the dot incentive part to have the resilience in the network, because then also validators, intrinsically care about the value of dot, because if they just get $5,000 in the stablecoin, there's not a great alignment in the value of dot, right? But yeah, so as I said, like the API is quite nice. So taken together, it should be more meaningful, or it should be enough for validators to make a living. And the exact number we need to find out. It's quite challenging, obviously, right? Because validators live at different parts of the world, and I think there's no realistic way to tie the payment based on where validators live, because it's way too easy to spoof your location. Maybe that gets different with proof of personal, but for now, I think we need to kind of strike this balance of like a fixed payment that can work for everyone. And I also want to say that this is per node, right? So many operators have at least like 2 nodes or more.
Yeah.
So this becomes economic very quickly. I'm not like, this is also quite difficult to strike a balance. We don't want, we want to have like smaller operators. But yeah, this is basically where the discussion is standing right now. There's like $2,000 US dollar in stablecoin, and then there's like this quite significant dot incentive on top.
Florentina is a validator, or you're running validators. She's actually a human, but she runs validators. Florentina, what did you think about this?
Yes, I'm a human. Yes, thank you. No, yeah, what Jonas is saying is absolutely, we were discussing it on the forum as well. This is something that we need to come to an agreement with, because basically, sorry, I'm moving away because there's too much noise here. Because basically, not only the regional situation is how much your infrastructure is going to cost, will vary, but also what kind of hardware requirements are we going to need in the future? Because what we need today is not what we're going to need in the future, and we still don't have any clarity as to what we will require with Jam.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I know in Bali, Gavin was mentioning something that maybe the infra for one node of Jam would be around $5,000, but that if you were really smart, it could come down to $1,500 or $2,000 per month. But we don't have the specs yet, so this is something to think about if we're going to start thinking about a budget for the future network-wide.
Yeah, and that's actually a very good point why this dynamic allocation pool is actually so useful, because the budget can be changed every time. It's super flexible, right? So maybe this budget is now fine for the next 1 year or two, but then when Jam comes, we just need to change the allocation and increase this sum, because the hardware requirements for Jam are just so much higher, right? I think this actually shows the utility of this very dynamic way of like allocating the funds.
And one of the beautiful things about this is that we can even talk about budgets now, because we are decoupled from issuance. So we can change that budget. It's not dependent on a percentage of what the issuance is. And as far as expenses go, validators are just one piece of the puzzle. Nominators is the other piece. And I think we can probably bring down nominator costs significantly, because we're also going to be reducing the risks for nominators by, I think, making stake available instantly, like unlocks almost instantly. Is that right? Instead of this 28 days.
Yeah. So it's not like it's towards the end of an era. Because as long as your stake is backing a validator, it should be locked. But the worst case is 1 day. But if the election is in 2 hours and you unlock now, then you have it in 2 hours.
Okay, yeah. So an era is 24 hours long, and you get it at the end of that era whenever you unlock. So that greatly reduces the risk to nominators.
Yeah, it like greatly increases the liquidity, and it also, like, since there's no slashing, it reduces the risk, right?
Yes, and then if Gavin is able to pull off his proof of personhood nominator game that he's been talking about, he spoke about it again last Thursday on the Coos, this is even less risk for the nominators. Really, they're only risking their reputation within the game, within the nominator game, so we can even further reduce expenses there. Pretty cool. Limo, Welcome to the show, sir. Did you get a chance to check out this dynamic allocation pool, or did you have any thoughts about this new direction for budgeting and budgeting the issuance?
Oh yeah, just people with smarter and more experience than me for this topic, I
There
think.
you go. A humble approach. Very nice. Jonas, did you want to tell us anything else about this while you're here?
No, I mean, please check it out. See, it's still in progress, right? There's a lot of people now having opinions and that need to come together. Also from the implementation side. And yeah, we will see where it goes. It's just a proposal for now, and yeah, we'll see. But I think it makes sense, and it could help us actually moving forward, especially under the new issuance schedule.
One interesting thought that maybe we could just bring up here as an addendum, this was put forth by Joe Petrowski, and he says this comes from a discussion with Kian and Donal and another handle I don't recognize here. It's an interesting idea, one that I'm still mulling over. But this is, instead of having this new issuance curve, every 2 years we recalculate and distribute, Joe's idea is to actually just mint it all upfront, don't put it into circulating supply, but have it in the strategic reserve to really be there to back up the stablecoin if need be. Keep it out of circulation. That's the key point. But mint it all up front. What are your thoughts for and against this idea so far?
Yeah, so I haven't made up my mind fully on it, but my immediate reaction is that it is quite dangerous, right? Because using like from a psychological perspective also, because using it as collateral would mean that it should be accessible once there is liquidations, which would then mean that we actually need to access them, and that would actually violate the curve.
That's right.
So at the very least, there needs to be another wish for change referendum that says okay, we can violate the curve if this and this happens, right? So it depends a lot on the small details here. And yeah, I mean, the benefit would be, of course, great if we can have a lot of capital or collateral for the stablecoin. Another issue is how does the market actually evaluate dots that shouldn't exist yet, but maybe actually exist, because the stability of the stablecoin depends on the value of the collateral. And I don't know how, I wouldn't know how to value the collateral because it shouldn't exist yet or something. So there's some challenges, let's say. Right now in my proposal, I'm just putting the collateral aside from the real budget in a sense. And then the strategic reserve could actually try to help the stablecoin whenever it's depegging. But on top of that, the idea is to take this unminted issuance, or to mint the issuance, but lock it, but potentially unlock it whenever needed, right?
I mean, the other question is would it even be necessary to have so much collateral available? Because we still are minting $84 million next year. Actually, even more, because we have original issuance for the first 3 months of the year, so we're around 100 million or something like that. How many stablecoins are we actually going to have in circulation by the end of the year? I'm not so sure it's going to even touch that.
Yeah, that's also a good point. Yeah. So there needs to be some calculations of how much liquidity we need. Also, how much liquidity is there? Then you need to understand how much collateral there is. So I don't want to say it doesn't make sense or we shouldn't do it. But I'm generally the one that raises some concerns early, and I think at the very least we need to make sure also that exchanges don't misinterpret the actual total supply, right? Because that would immediately be 2.1 billion.
Right. Just the price
and
tags.
Then I mean, by definition the price would be I don't know, 60% lower or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But let's see. I mean, we need to be careful. But the good thing is, as a protocol, we have much more ways to handle the stablecoin as, you know, as a non-native stablecoin.
Yeah.
So it might be interesting to explore additional ways of you know, doing this stuff.
So I suppose we want this ready for the issuance change in March, which gives us about 5 months from tomorrow, 5 months from tomorrow to get this done. How do you feel about that timeline? All good?
So I'm not the one that's implementing this, right?
Uh-huh.
So my job is just to say like, hey, this should be happening.
Yeah.
This is also quite challenging for me because you know, like I'm always in between the chairs and like trying to nudge people of like basically doing it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say is that it would be nice to have it then. There's ways we can, you know, mitigate the new issuance curve with other things, like the original proposal I put out, maybe the 10% minimum commission, 10K self-stake. But yeah, it now all depends on how much priority this gets from people and like how important people think that this is and how quickly we need it.
Okay.
And then it depends on the implementation, like how much resources are available for this.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we can start implementing certain aspects of it actually without any big design changes, even just with what we have today. But
yeah, I think there's so many like little pieces, and some of them are more difficult than others. Some of them are trivial, basically, right? Like removing the slashing for nominators is probably just a line of code or something.
Yeah.
And then you have more difficult things that are, you know, more complex, and we'll have to see.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Jonas, for putting this all together and taking time to
welcome.
explain this to us today. Very exciting stuff.
Sure.
We'll see how quickly we can get this down. Florentino pointed out, first step down in issuance is 4 months away. My bad. This is why I leave math to those with a higher IQ. So thanks very much, Florentina, for counting that out. My bad. Cool stuff. All right, well, let's carry on now to see what else we have to talk about today. Well, something that you somewhat mentioned here, Jonas. We're talking about stopping the burn in the treasury here. So every 24 days, 1% of the treasury gets fried. And yeah, I suggested maybe we stop that burn. And the votes have been interesting. We have a lot more votes now. So Chaos DAO came in on the I side. PBA DV came in on the I side as well. The White Rabbit, in all his wisdom, switched from nay to I. So that was nice to see. On the nay side, however, Polkadot Poland, Saxonburg, and Permanence DAO is a new nay today. We also had GovernNown. They were a nay when we were talking about this on Monday. And Flez has come out on the nay side as well. Big Flez on the nay side also. So this is interesting so far. Jonas, what do you think about stopping the burn now? Do you have any thoughts on it? No opinion?
So how did you, like, how was this hard pressure model implemented? Like it means up to 2.1 billion dot, right? So it doesn't matter whether we burn now or not?
Yes. What matters here is keeping DOT in the treasury for future use. The way that the hard issuance works right now is that on March 5th, 14th, it's going to look at the circulating supply, and then it's going to set the schedule for all time. It's not going to recalculate every 2 years. It just sets the rest of the schedule.
Right.
So technically,
So
anything burned today could be reissued in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, then I don't think it's super necessary to stop it now. I mean, I think what's important is that we can commit to this, like converging towards the cap. Whether we stop it now or like at the start of this new issuance curve, I don't think is a big difference. And if we go for this dynamic allocation pool thingy, then it also doesn't matter much because it is not necessary anymore what is in the treasury or not, because it can just request new funds, right? This is also why with the dynamic allocation pool, it doesn't make sense to burn anymore, because it would, you know, like we just reshuffle it, and like when you have a budget need, the treasury has a budget need, it either requests the difference to what it needs or like everything. But there's no difference.
But just a small clarification there. Because issuance is going to be set on March 14th, 2026 for the rest of time, anything burned after March 14th won't be reissued, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we should stop all burns at the
Mhm.
very latest when we switch to the new issuance curve. And before that, I don't think that we want to use all the funds that we have in the treasury up until then. So
No,
it
of
doesn't
course
matter
not.
much.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else with a thought on this? Stopping the burn. We'll see how this goes. One of the biggest quibble that people have with it on the nay side is that they're worried about it affecting the tokenomics. But as I pointed out a bunch of times in the comments, we're talking about a very, very, very small piece of issuance right now, saved or burned. So I don't think it has a big difference there. Limo.
I also think you're probably kidding yourself if you think that the burn from the treasury is impacting the price in a drastic upwards momentum.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone gives a fuck about that, to be honest.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll see how that settles. Yeah, still many, many days left there. Over on the whitelisted caller track, Oliver's looking to set the dot assets rate for USDT and USDC. I think right now it's 10-1, but what is he looking to change it to here? 6? Is it 6-1? Let's see here. This just came up actually just minutes before, or just a few hours before the show started, so I haven't been able to check it out yet. But I think it is 6-1. I think so. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. If nobody on the panel has a different thing to say, I guess we'll call it 6-1 for now. Here's an interesting proposal by Treasury Guardian on the Treasurer track. So Treasury Guardian was looking to get spend through in order to pay for their app. Now, currently that's at 0% support, but they are still pushing forward with this sort of guardianship of the Treasury by giving voters the chance to stop future payments. And the first one they're trying to do right now is actually for Sub0. So Sub0 has this success fee, this 30% success fee or something like that, or it's around $34,000 based on hitting certain metrics. Here it is, $33,579.50 if they hit certain metrics. Now, they had to put this forward right now, just based on the duration of spend proposals or OpenGov proposals. If Web0 submits their numbers and they come up short, then by voting in favor of this, that's actually going to cancel that future payment. A little bit chaotic, actually, to try to organize voters to change their mind one way or the other. But this is the first attempt at trying to do this. I think it's kind of interesting, actually. Maybe it's a difficult implementation, a difficult experience for voters to form consensus in these sort of quick and agile ways. But yeah, we thank them for trying the experiment anyway. This is still waiting for a decision deposit, however. We'll have to see. Oh, we have Strind on the show. Hey, Strind, how's it going?
Yeah, hey, I'm great. Yeah, finally have somewhere to stay here in Buenos Aires after some slight rug pulling from Airbnb.
I
But
heard, yeah.
yeah,
So sorry
I'm
about
happy
that.
to be here.
Glad you got a place to stay. I think the trick is if you run an Airbnb and the city gets packed, you can always cancel on the smart people who booked early and then relist your Airbnb for a higher price.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good model.
There's quite a few people that have had issues. There's a few people I know that every day have to move to a new Airbnb, so that's going to be fun for them.
Awful. We also have Edgar on the show. Hey, sir, welcome back.
And I was
sorry.
trying to save some money, so I didn't book a nice hotel and did like this, and now it's costing me like twice the amount of the nice hotel.
Oh my God. Well, good to have you here. We're gonna make it totally worth your while for sure. We'll try our best.
Yeah.
Edgar, welcome to the show, sir. Nice to have you back. Oh, we can't hear you. We actually can't hear you. Maybe we'll look at the microphone there and get another thing. We also have Hope Clary back on the show. Hope, it's been a while. All good in your world?
Hello, hello. So we are on the show just to give a brief. Edgar, myself, and Mike Devine are putting up a proposal for a self-sovereign identity wallet with FAA regulation, and we're just looking to introduce it. And we're all going to come on together next week and hopefully give a full presentation and an actual full proposal
What is
that's properly defined.
What is FAA regulated?
Flight.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Thanks. FAA is Federal Aviation Administration from the USA. So they manage all the part of course, aviation.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Hope stated, we put a proposal there, but as the community on the whole community is facing right now in Sub0, we want to be here full as a team, and we would like to schedule the next week for the full presentation. We could do it, of course, right now, but we think it's better to present all the whole team. However, the proposal is up because right now in the ecosystem is happening a lot of things, and our base technology for it is killed as it states. And right now the ecosystem has too many shenanigans in that. So right now, every comment on that proposal, and we already have one regarding to kill. That's why I'm putting in it. We are going to answer that through the forum, and in next week, if we see like the community needs to know more about how we are going to tackle that problem of infrastructure, of course, we are going to be going very deeply, because proof of personhood for us is very important. And so it's digital identity for trusted entities like institutions. So we can't deny that the ID technology is important also for the ecosystem and onboarding Web2 institutions. Well, not Web2, but traditional institutions. So that's the proposal for a very high regulated use case for the Polkadot ecosystem. We are happy to be here, and if you guys on AAG and the community let us present this on next week and have more details about the concerns on technology and implementation, we are so happy to read it, to go through it, and to perfect this, because we care about all this happening on the ecosystem and in the world. So I don't know if there's any punctual question or
my hand raising isn't happening. I'm so sorry. I just want to jump in, Jay. So long story short, our proposal went up while I was in the air. I'm here at Bubble Studios in Sub0. You can see everybody around. So I just read it very quickly. We do have some changes that we need to make to the proposal to make it correct and all the links to match, plus our finance around it. But one of the things that I wanted to say is we are working with a FAA issuer regulator, and they need credentials, and we're looking to ensure that other information does not get coupled with the identity, right? So we're looking to ensure that the wallet itself, we real world test it, which is the partnership we have with the FAA issuer, and that we test out all the bugs before bringing it to market.
Okay.
So that's really, in a nutshell, what the proposal is about, but we need to clean it up a little. And the full team needs to come on AAG next week and speak to everything, including that we're using Kilt technology.
Right.
Edgar, did I sum that up great? because my phone's gonna
No,
die,
I,
and
I
I'm
think
like,
I think I think we I think we got it. I think we got it now from both of you. Yeah, tricky with
thank
Kilt.
you.
Tricky with building on Kilt, as they were mentioned that they're sunsetting the the
Yeah.
whole network. So that is tricky. Limo.
Yeah, that was just going to be my comment. Like, try and get that like information out as soon as possible about the kilt thing, because as per their announcement, it sounds like if they don't get directors for the foundation, that all foundation/team stuff is sunsetting. So I don't know what Kilt's collator set's like, but if all the collators are foundation, then the chain's just going to break, right? So definitely address those concerns, because I'm worried people will just vote no without reading the full thing, purely because of the Kilt mention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I raise my hand and addressing those concerns very, very quickly. Yeah, we have a plan for that. We have a plan on, of course, um, talking with the foundation. However, there are many concerns there, and of course, there are many paths. And keeping infrastructure is very expensive. So we need to manage all of this. But first things first, these funds are not going for infrastructure on Kilt. For going to infrastructure on Kilt or any other chain that could be derived from the pallets of Kilt, there's the point of developing these business verticals and going with another venture capital fund in the best case to keep that, well, to have those funds, because of course we are very aware of how the treasury has been helped a lot of parachains on many sides, and also the community. So personally, as founder of this project and developer, and seeing all these things and talking with the team and Hope and Mike, addressing these concerns should be something from the business side, not the community side that like is happening right now. So yeah, that's why it was very important for us, even if there is some twitching to be needed to be done in the on the proposal, because right now it's like time sensitive, because this announcement from Kilt, and that jeopardizes a lot of things. So community agreement and community discourse discussion on these matters and how we are going to proceed as a team on the future is very important. So of course,
The biggest takeaway, I'm just going to interject really quick. The biggest takeaway is we're trying to actually onboard with the code and bug test in production, and we have buy-in to do so, right? So we have an agreement, an LOI to do this in production, to get all the bugs out of the code, and then to go and our first takeaway would be onboarding 44 flight schools, and that would bring finance to Polkadot, to Kilt Chain. It would allow us to then build the other verticals that we have and we will present next week. I don't want to over exacerbate the situation. We jumped on here quickly because of the announcement from Kilt, and we do have someone that we're working with, and we do believe very deeply about doing this right. So I'm hoping we can leave it there. If you guys have any light questions right
No,
now,
I
that's
think
good. But
we should
otherwise, I
probably.
would like to present next week.
Yeah, I think we should probably talk about it next week. Remember, just to remind
Thank
you
you.
guys, it's only an 8-minute slot, and definitely recommend you focus on the business connections, the LOI, and the business case. That's probably going to be the best thing. But guys, thanks for the overview. Let's keep rolling. Oh, I just want to say real quick about the Kilt thing here. It was
thanks for the
sad to
space.
see they mentioning that they're getting some death threats, some threats of violence toward the team there. It's a little sad to see. I would. I would just like to say that from my point of view, because we had Rish on the Space Monkeys earlier this year, and I just want to say that as far as I know, Rish was taking on a lot of personal risk and expense to try to keep the Kilt project alive. In the end, it doesn't look like he was successful, but threats and accusations that funds were mismanaged and whatnot. I don't think that was the case since this group took over. So you know, hey, look, if you're going to put your money into an early stage project, you have to be ready to eat it when it goes under. That's part of the risk of investing, quote unquote. Edgar, sorry, you want to say something?
Just regarding to that, yeah, the as you said, this is very stark use cases, and the threats on this matter is like very crazy. So
Yeah, that's
I also know Rich, and I know how hardworking the Kill protocol chain. We're working on the SDK and on all the use cases, but sometimes the time is off. So that's why I think it's time for the community to step up. If they really care about the project, it's time for stepping up and bring real use cases, bring verticals. So that's at least for us, not just because we work on identity, but because we care about the project. Is that why we want to have this to do this? So
Mm.
yeah, just that.
Thank you. Ilya. Can't hear you. You're muted. Muted. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. Just one question for you, Jay. Is it possible somehow contact me with Gavin, or at least show him what we have built so far, so we can think about the approved personhood? Is it possible, or maybe I just don't know how it works. I mean,
maybe we can just talk offline about that.
okay.
I mean, I don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's keep rolling here. We have a few more rests to get through here. Oh, speaking of it, of Gav, here is his first proposal ever. Looking a lot healthier this week because the smart people at Chaos DAO have come in on the I side here. 15.59 million votes in favor of the incentives for the Polkadot People campaign. A little over $3 million acquisition, a $3 million hauler acquisition from our USDC and USDT stablecoin piles. This is on the root track, and so far now it is looking pretty good. Let's check out how the other votes have been. Colorful Notion still on the I side, but Red DAO actually on the nay side, and still POS Dog. Again, we spoke about the decentralized voices. Pretty sure that they don't have access to vote on the root track. So looks like Chaos DAO will carry this unless some other group comes through. Yeah, Limo.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of like chatter on Twitter about this. So you can piece together content from mainly the Case Marion that Gavin's been on about all of this proof of personhood stuff and all the different DIMs, including reading this referendum and the commented interview that you did like a day after this launch with Gav, which speaks about this referendum.
Right.
A lot of people seemingly either don't have the ability to read or are like deaf and blind and can't digest this information.
Okay.
I would just say that if you're like, especially people that maybe are DV type people, probably actually read all of the information and watch all of the content about the referendum before like just wildly speculating. There was a lot of very bizarre comments. You can disagree with the referendum, you can think it's bad, but just like ignoring information that's out there about the ref seems a bit bad faith in my opinion. And hopefully we can be better and not speculate and be rather toxic on X and other places. It doesn't make it a good ecosystem to be in when everybody's been a dick.
Yeah, it's totally bizarre. Discourse in OpenGov has broken down a lot lately. And, you know, it's somewhat understandable because the network has been squeezing people. Obviously, there's a lot of disappointment out there right now. But I think especially seeing a lot of it from the DVs is a little bit unnerving, a little bit too bad to have a lot of this really nonsense discourse put forward by some of the DVs. Yeah, it sucks to see. Stern, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is more like a funny comment, I guess, but like when Chaos DAO has to be the voice of reason for not being dicks.
Oh my God.
You know, you're
What's gone from chaotic evil to chaotic good?
No, I mean, there was a lot of like, oh, this is going to be the biggest if you know inside a referendum or something. But the ref and the accompanied podcast interview.
Yeah, lays it
kind of
all out.
explains like the vast majority of it actually. So yeah, I don't really know where people are confused. Maybe they just haven't read it or watched the interview. But I would, it's pretty interesting, and I'm pretty optimistic on use cases for proof of personhood. That well, the ability to give people you're an actual person can entail in Web3 and other commonly used things that would be beneficial to society on an unstoppable network. Being somebody from the UK where we're getting censored a lot. So
No
yeah.
kidding. Yeah. Hey, look, if Gavin the guys can pull this off, it is massive, and the value way more than this $3 million. So yeah, I'm totally in favor here. Good stuff. Okay, we have on the big spender track, Otar has put a proposal to fund. This is a top up actually for the Paseo bounty, 113,220,220 dot. Remember, dot is all we can put into bounties at the moment still. So we have to give up some valuable assets to keep this bounty going. This just got posted, so not a lot of votes to speak of, but we'll be watching that in the weeks to come. Yes, Limo.
Yeah, I know a lot of like token holders have never interacted with Paseo, but
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, it's pretty important for like parachain devs and people doing stuff on Polkadot. I think even like the curator fees are extremely low. It's not like one of these ones that everyone's crying about that curators are getting paid some level of money. I think it's like $250 a quarter or something really low.
Yeah.
I think it's good. If we don't have this testnet, then the cost of a testnet is always absorbed by somebody. Like if there's a Solana testnet, which I'm sure there are, the foundation's just paying for that. You just don't know about it, right? So like somebody's got to pay for the testnet, and I think it's more beneficial that it's like an actual community ran testnet rather than like a private one. So I'm in favor of this, even if people are like, oh my god, 300 grand for a testnet is important, and I think we should keep it going. To be fair.
Yeah, of course, absolutely necessary. Something that voters are firmly against, however, and the decision period is almost over. This is the 1 million dot incentives for Stella Swap. 1 million dot for incentives is only 4% in favor of this, 35.14 million dot against, and we'll have to see if we get another proposal about that in the future. Yeah, Limo.
Yeah, I'm going to keep commenting on refs. Yes, like there is quite a lot of people that use Stellar Swap. Obviously, it's probably the most popular DEX on Moonbeam. As far as I know, there's a lot of comments about the previous ref and how the incentives were used or something like that. I don't know if they've been addressed by the team properly. I haven't like read the comments again. But I would just say if there's like any level of questions on a ref, make sure you like 100% answer them. Because otherwise people are just always going to hold that above you, right?
Yeah. Good advice. Okay, now moving on to the medium spender track, we have the Inc. Alliance still on the line, 41.6 million, or sorry, 41.6% in favor. It's 14.33 million on the I side, 20 million against. Here's the split of votes. Chaos DAO really with their thumb on the Inc. Alliance here. Yeah, we'll have to see if they can get maybe Poland to come over. Would that change things? Yes, I think that would put it just above the line if Polkadot Poland switched over there. But that's the situation with the Inc. Alliance. And then a new ref that just popped up, and we have Dansky here on the show to talk about it. This is the chaotic funding that actually was passed. It was one of the few spend proposals in the last few months that have passed. Alas, due to the Asset Hub migration, the payout wasn't executed. So here we are looking for the same payout again. Dansky, did you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I mean, like the ref kind of explained it in its own way. It's
What a
like
bummer.
quite simple. We've been, yeah, this will be quick. Like we've been talking to Web3 Foundation and Parity, like what to do about it.
Yeah.
And from my own understanding, like if we would want to fix that, then we would need to like basically revert the state and just like kind of
no, yeah, that'd be
just
crazy.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work, right? So the referendum that Oliver has put up, which is the 1787, that's the ref that is going to fix the referenda that have not been yet affected. To basically fix the asset rates. However, we have already been affected, and unfortunately, we had to put up a new proposal. which is the 1790, and I hope that it's gonna pass. I believe it's gonna pass, just as I thought with Chaotic. So we are just super grateful to the community for the support, and for all the voters that stood by us. And well, we'll have to wait another month and see how this one goes. I think that's about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've had this situation happen before where a spend that passes doesn't get executed correctly, and usually people come to support it and get it through as quickly as possible. So hopefully we can get those funds to you soon, Dansky. Sorry about the luck here. That's a real bummer.
No worries.
All right. Also on the medium spender track, the staking dashboard, Polkadot staking dashboard, 154,000 USDC. What do we have here? We have Chaos DAO. Oh, we have Saxonburg and PBA and Permanence and Trustless all on the I side, but Chaos DAO against. Same with Ret DAO, Polkadot Poland, Lenexus. Pretty even split here. I did actually get a chance to try out the Pappy staking dashboard last week, and it was pretty good, I gotta say. It was a little bit of a simpler experience. It worked super, super slick. So yeah, now we have competition in the staking space. Will that change the outcome of this ref and future support of the staking dashboard? I'm not sure, but usually I use the staking dashboard to manage my validators as well. So in these times ahead, as we spoke about on the show last week, we're gonna have to make some tough choices here. Competition should go up as well, so we'll have to see what really makes it through. But right now, this one is failing and looks like it's actually not gonna make it. We have 21 hours. 9 minutes remaining in the decision period. So I'd say this ref is done for 154,000, and we'll have to see if they come back with maybe something a little simpler, maybe at least maintenance fees, not all these new features. We'll have to see about that. Okay, moving on to small spender. New Region X proposal just shot up a few minutes before the show starts. So far, 100% in support. The two voters are 100% in support of this one. I'm not quite sure what's different about this one. I can take a quick look, but but what is even the spend here? It's on the small spender, but the spend isn't up. Let me refresh here. I don't know. Is this a UI bug? How much are they even requesting here?
I think it's around like 30K.
30K. Sounds like a maintenance fee to keep it going. But yeah, maybe we'll get Sergey back on the show to talk about this next week. But brand new ref there, 1788, 1779 for funding of Reactive Dot by Tian. 24,750. This one's flying with 88% support. We only have maybe one DV on the nay side. Let's see who it is. Trustless Core, also Govern Noun on the nay side as well. Everybody else in favor of this one so far, including Chaos DAO. And last ref. Oh, yeah, this is the Treasury Guardian thing that we spoke about earlier, which looks done. Okay, that's it for all the refs on the go. Anything we want to talk about before we meet you all at Bubble Studio? Limo, you got something on the mind. I can tell.
It's just going to be an awesome time. Looking forward to seeing everyone. There's a lot of big presentations, some news I had maybe. So it'll be
big news.
Pretty good.
You know, we already talked about how after Gavin's speech, there's going to be a blackout on the stream where a very special presentation is going to be made. You have to be there to know. So just to remind you, if you know somebody on the ground, you might want to establish a DM connection with them so you can get firsthand experience of, or firsthand knowledge of what's going on. It's going to be pretty freaking cool. Limo, have you got your presentation in yet?
We just released the gift feature today, Jay, which is a core part of the presentation. If you're there in person, maybe make sure you know about it's updated because there'll be a little giveaway. So yeah, it is almost ready, Jay. I was waiting for that update.
Saw it here.
Yeah,
It's got it here.
It's on this tab, yeah.
Is it clear how to submit the presentation? So we need a PPTX, and then also a PDF backup version in the folder. Is that going to be all okay? You got that locked down?
Get it done, hopefully. It is on Figma at the moment, but I'll figure it out.
If it's Figma, then you could just drop a URL into it as well. Just make sure it's public so that you can see it in the open network here. And yeah, it should be good. No, it's going to be fantastic. And then you, right after the end of your presentation, you're hosting. What's that?
There's QR codes that people can steal money, Jay. We've got to be careful.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, shit. Okay. You do have to be careful. Well, I guess you can add the QR code since it's a website. You can add it at the last minute. Yeah, good point. And then after you're finished your presentation there, Limo, you are going to get right to work on a panel. You're going to be hosting Nico and Jakob and a fellow from Facundo from EFT. Yeah, it's going to be very, very cool.
Talking about stable coins and their adoption in LATAM and some other stuff as well. It's gonna be quite good.
No way. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to record some Space Monkeys as well while I'm here. It's going to be a very packed schedule for everybody involved. The Coos is going to take a week off, so we're not going to do the Friday News Pump. We're not going to do Space Monkeys. We're not going to do pretty much anything except AAG until we're back with the Friday News Pump next Friday. There's just going to be too much material for everybody to be consuming, so we don't want to crowd the airwaves. There's truly going to be so much that you're going to want to take part in. If you're a content creator, we could really use your help with cutting up the talks. If you see any talk that you like, screen record the screens. You're going to have a lot of like banging, high engagement content you can clip if you're paying attention. So please do help out there. And yeah, we'll see you all. We'll see you all very soon. Have a great weekend, everybody.